The depths at Rosscairn Island. Eerie darkness and the cold Antarctic winds hit her face as Megan Forster was reeling in the fishing nets that she had strung up at Rosscairn Island, to the north of the Antarctic continent. It was a tough job, but Megan was a strong and intelligent woman. That was the reason Megan had joined a research group that studied the viability of automated deep-sea fishing around Antarctica as a way of feeding the growing population. Megan hated the cold and the dark. The sun had set 2 weeks earlier, and she wasn't due to see daylight for another 2 months at her latitude. How would she be able to cope with this torture? As a robotic drone pulled up its catch of fish, one fish stood out from the crowd. It was a spooky fish with glowing red eyes, and Megan had never seen anything like it. Was her mind playing tricks on her, or had she discovered a new species of fish? Megan ran back inside and spoke to Niall Thompson, who was the senior marine biologist at the research center.
"Niall, I saw something amazing,"
Megan exclaimed. Niall put away his cup of tea and replied, "I see. Entertain me, Megan."
"I saw a new species of fish. It looked as if it came from outer space,"
Megan replied. Niall smiled. Deep-sea creatures looked alien-like due to their adaptations to living under the crushing pressure of the depths of the oceans. Humans rarely encountered these creatures, but this would change if the project proved that Antarctic deep-sea fishing was viable. "I see. Please show me this fish so I can examine it," Niall said.
"Of course. It is among today's catch. Come with me,"
Megan said. The two researchers got dressed in thick winter clothes, went outside and looked at the strange fish. All the fishes in their catch were deep-sea fish and looked alien-like, but this particular fish, with glowing red eyes, looked out of this world.
"Stay away. You are in danger."
As Niall heard the random voice, he turned to Megan and spoke. "What do you mean, Megan?" Megan gave him a clueless look and replied,
"What are you talking about? I didn't say anything."
Niall nodded and kept quiet. If Megan hadn't spoken, who had warned him of danger?
"So, what do you reckon about this strange-looking fish? Have we discovered a new species, perhaps?"
Megan asked. "I believe so," Niall replied.
"So, what are you waiting for? Let's bring it back to our lab,"
Megan suggested excitedly. Niall hesitated. He sensed the danger, and the ominous voice that had warned him of danger didn't alleviate his fear. Yet he also feared how his colleagues would react if he refused to examine the new species of fish. Would she complain to the university's dean back in Australia of his ignorance? Niall lifted the strange fish and reflected over how heavy it was. A fish of this size should only weigh a couple of kilos, but it felt like it was 4 times heavier than so.
"Are you okay?"
Megan asked. Niall nodded. He would not let fear and paranoia become self-fulfilling prophecies. Drinking and drug use had already led him on this path once in his life. They got inside the cabin, and Niall prepared for a dissection of the strange fish. "8.2 kilos. Niall and Megan stared at the digital display of the scale. How could this small fish weigh so much?
"I don't understand. It's as if it is made of rock,"
Megan said. Rock? What did rocks consist of? Niall pondered, and the answer dawned upon him. Could the fish be a creature of a silica-based life form? The idea was preposterous. Silica was much more common than carbon on Earth, yet all known life was carbon-based. For one reason or another, silica didn't seem suitable as a fundament for life. Yet the idea wouldn't leave his mind. He turned to Megan and spoke. "Hey Megan, is our mass spectrometer operational?"
"Why do you ask?"
Megan asked. "I need to test a theory of mine. I must know whether this fish is carbon or silica-based," Niall replied.
"Silica-based? That's impossible. There is no silica-based life on Earth or in the known universe."
Megan objected. Nothing is impossible. It might be improbable. We shall not leave any stone unturned. Niall replied. Megan nodded and turned on the spectrometer. After that, they sliced a minuscule piece of the fish and put it under the cutting-edge tissue microscope. As Niall studied the strange fish, he noticed something amazing. Its cells had a large concentration of the rare isotope, silica-32. This is amazing. The most common isotope in this specimen is silica-32, Niall exclaimed.
Silica-32? That's impossible. Silica-32 is a rare radioactive isotope of silica. Almost all silica on Earth consists of silica-28, 29, or 30.
Megan replied. Yes, and perhaps that's why all life on Earth is carbon-based. Because it takes silica-32 to create the building blocks of life. Imagine the possibilities, Niall exclaimed.
All right, let's dissect this fish further and see what else we can find out.
Megan suggested and grabbed a scalpel.
Don't touch me.
Niall felt observed by the haunting, glowing red eyes of the dying alien fish. Terror engulfed his mind, and he wanted to flee, but at the same time, he had to still his curiosity. Niall grabbed his knife and started dissecting the fish further. To his amazement, the fish seemed to be lacking all the internal organs of a normal fish. At least, he couldn't find any heart, liver, or blood vessels. Instead, he found veins containing a fluorescent green, thick, gooey substance.
She is infected. You must kill her to save your species.
Niall stared at the dying fish. He was certain now. The fish was contacting him telepathically, using its haunting red eyes. He looked at Megan. The fish was right. Megan was infected. The fact that her eyes were turning red gave her away. I need to go to the bathroom, Niall said and got up. Megan didn't pay him any attention, and she didn't notice what he was about to do until it was too late. Her blood splashed all over the dissection table, and her muffled cries died into his hands as he covered her mouth while he slit her throat with the fish dissection tool. Niall got up. He would tamper with the boiler and set the research station to blow up. This was his only chance to destroy the radioactive fish and stop the spread of the lethal parasite it contained. After setting the station to blow up, he grabbed his spear gun so he could deal with other crew members, Eric and Harold. What happened here? An Australian Navy officer said to Professor Brennan from the University of Australia as they approached the expedition site.
This is all my fault. I should never have sent Niall Thompson as a crew member for this expedition. Sending a man with a known history of alcohol and drug abuse on an Antarctic expedition. What was I thinking?
Professor Brennan exclaimed. So, one moment he was dissecting fish, and the next he murdered his colleagues and set out to blow up the research facility. The Navy officer said, feeling flabbergasted.
Yes, and it seems we are here too late. Everyone is dead,
Professor Brennan said. The Navy officer walked to the dissection table, looked at the red-eyed fish, and exclaimed, Hey, that's one odd fish. Professor Brennan was too distressed to examine the fish, so she replied,
Yes, this was a deep-sea research facility. In any case, we shall leave as soon as we have collected the dead bodies. May this haunted place forever fall into obscurity.
I understand, madam, the Navy officer said, and together they dragged the dead bodies onto a helicopter that brought them back to Australia. As they left the site, they did not notice that their eyes had started to slowly turn glowing red. The end.